Welcome to the MoneyWise Channel, a place where we talk about inspirational things and setting up goals. Today we will be answering some more emails. Keep sending me emails. I love giving you my opinion and some facts on some things, just sharing my perspective. Anything you want to ask me, ask me. Someone basically asked me in this email about enemies and how to deal with them and how to stay positive. And I said, okay, this is pretty interesting. So today I'm going to come from the perspective. I'm going to call this one enemy vs enemy. I'm going to call it enemy vs versus inner me. So I'm going to come from the perspective, instead of the enemy being outside, what about the enemy? What about if it's inside you? On a basic level, because the enemy is someone that's actively opposed or a hostile person. They actively oppose what you are or what you're doing or what you stand for, or they're a hostile person. And it's dealing with like split personalities, right? If you can think of it like that, these two different energies, enemy versus enemy, the duality of it all, just coming from that source. So let's go this. So on a basic level, when people look at an enemy, they'll say, okay, that's a person over there separate from me that's trying to cause me a problem. I'm trying to start this business, they're trying to block it. I'm trying to buy this building, they're trying to block it. I'm trying to lease this building, they're trying to block it. I'm trying to be in this relationship, they're trying to block it. I'm trying to get these clothes, they're trying to block it. I'm trying to win this game, they're trying to block it. People use another word called ops because it's the opposition. Ops, the opposition, an enemy. So this is how they look at it. This is their perspective. Someone outside of them that doesn't have anything to do with them. That's the enemy. Now, you deal with the enemy. This is dealing with you, what's inside you. When you go for a job, you're telling yourself you can't get the job. When you want to wear some clothes, you saying you can't get those clothes. When you want to go get that building, you're telling yourself, I can't get that building. When you want to do well in your relationship, you're telling yourself, I can't do well in this relationship. You are your biggest enemy. You are your enemy is the one giving you all the problems. Before somebody else could even get in it, is you. You already got issues before someone on the outside even comes in. You can't even have a relationship because something inside of you, your enemy, is tearing everything apart. So no matter how the other person outside of you tries to work with you, it'll never work because of you. And so then you want to place them as your enemy because they're outside of you and you don't want to take responsibility for what you're doing. See, we have to stop this. It's hard to be successful if you don't deal with the enemy, because that's your true enemy when it's not going well. And see, a lot of times when things go well, we're able to pat ourselves on the back and say, yeah, I did that. I did that. God, that's where the God complex comes in. Yes, I did that. Self-belief, which is good, but that's what that is. But what about when you're the one tearing it up? Can you look at yourself and say, I'm the one tearing all this up. I am going out my way to tear things up, tear up businesses, tear up life, tear up love, just tearing everything up. See, that's the enemy. That's something that can actually be controlled by you. You can't look to everybody else and look for them to do something about you in your life. This is something that's self-medicated, self-worked on. Self-time. You got to work on some self-time to build yourself up to do what you need to do. Otherwise, you just keep going in a circle and you're just wasting time. And then, see, this is the thing about enemy. When you're dealing with this, it's easy to point at somebody and say they're the enemy and point at them. But when it's your enemy that's doing this, that means not only are you wasting your time, you're wasting everybody's time with you. So if someone believes in you and wants to work with you, then this is what happens. You start wasting their time because your enemy is not going to let this thing be successful. Your enemy is going to do anything it can to always sabotage the situation. I coined this phrase called beautiful sabotage. It's a beautiful sabotage because you keep going out your way to stop the movement. Everything be calm and it just be moving forward. It's just a clean flow. And then you'll just find a reason inside you to inject a problem for no reason. And then you lean back and look at everybody and say, oh, they're the enemy. The boss is the problem because I keep showing up for work late. Or this clothes don't fit me. Instead of you saying you gain weight or whatever, you'll say it's the way they cut the pants or the way they cut the shirt. Instead of you not eating that food, you say, well, they keep putting it out there. So every time I come in, there's candy in, there's chicken, and there's all this, whatever you eat, that's the problem. Oh, they had an open bar, so that's why I got drunk at the wedding. It's always a reason that you're blaming somebody else. They're the enemy. They're the problem. You have to deal with the inner me. You have to stop. And that's why I think it's important to meditate. Because prayer is good, but the problem about most people when they pray, they're talking and they're singing how they feel and pushing their emotion into the air. I think meditation is so important because you can get quiet. And when you get quiet, you can deal with the inner me. And the inner me is something you can't hear if you're talking. You got to be quiet. And I'm not talking quiet where you just go fall asleep. I'm talking about sit there and just really be quiet. And in your head, you can think things out, and then you can start to hear that inner me voice saying stupid stuff. Sitting there talking about, you don't need this. Why is this, whatever negative, that's that inner me that you got to deal with, because that's your true enemy. And if you could deal with that, just really take time out and deal with your inner me, then I believe you'll have less enemies. See, you have to really tap into who you are as a person. And it always goes back to our life, how we grew up. Gives us our perspectives of things in our life. Like I talked about in a video, I talked about God. It's all about perspective. How you see God is basically how you grew up and your way through life. It's been your journey, your pathway. That's what gives you your version or your perspective of God. So such as this situation, dealing with your enemy and how you come up with outside situations like enemies that you say enemy, it's you. You're basically seeing yourself and everybody else that's causing all these problems. So it's kind of like for those that have a phone, iPhone especially, you can hook your phone up to the TV in your house, right? You got a flat screen and smart TV. So on your phone, what's in your phone, you can shoot it up on the screen. And so you could say, well, I didn't shoot that up on the screen from my little phone. This is a little phone. It's too little to be able to be put up on some big screen like that. There's no way. But yes, it's what's inside that phone that will be shot up on that screen. So if it's something good, everybody be like, great. If it's bad, then that's you on your phone, that you push that up on that big screen. And that's how you got to look at it. You got your enemy as your iPhone or your phone in your hand, and you got to look at the enemy as the big screen that you're shooting this up on there, and everybody's looking at it. So if you think about it, that makes sense. It's still you. It's just in another form, and it's outside of you, which would be the iPhone. It's outside of you, but it's still you. So you just got to think about that. Enemy, take time out, meditate, be quiet, sit down and deal with this. And I believe that you will be able to find out these things, these voices in your head, these problems that you're having. You'll work them out and you'll be a better person. So this is my theme. No matter what, every day, smile. Just have a big smile on your face. And remember, plans may change, but goals stay the same. Like and subscribe to this MoneyWise channel, and I'll see you on the next video. Yep,